Hi guys, welcome to another Pilates video with me, Gabby. Today we're going to be working those arms and shoulders. So band, we're going to need a resistance band, and if you've got some weights. So I've got these hand weights which I can put around my wrist, but you could use some ones that you hold or just a couple of tins of whatever. So you don't want them too heavy because obviously we do a lot of movements and it starts to get quite heavy. So I wouldn't say any more than 1 kilo in weight. So let's start by just, let's move our arms and our shoulders. Let's just see where we're at. Let's see if we can make a change there. So starting standing even with yourself centered. So legs underneath the hips. And you're going to take your left arm and just stretch it up and behind. So try and keep that body looking forward. So we're just starting to sort of wake up the muscles around the arm, and we'll do that again. So inhale and exhale. So making some nice big circles there. And actually I might just start to look to where the arm's going now, but still keep sort of the hips looking forwards. And again, up and around. One more. Brilliant. Let's do the other side. So again, arm up. And just start by keeping the eye line looking forwards. I say hello to the plant on the way, and then back down. I'm going to scoot across so I don't keep hitting it. And again, around. And when the arm goes behind, just check you don't start to flare the ribs. Let's try and keep sort of really centered here, as in ribs and pelvis in alignment. So we actually really start to make the movement from the muscles around that shoulder and arm joint there. Really good. Now I'm going to look to where I'm going, just to add a little bit more of a movement there in a bit more of the middle of the back there. Really good. Oh, get some nice clicks out. Brilliant. And then bring that arm back down. So let's do a roll down here. Let's just check in. Let's see how the spine's moving, how the arms feel, just how we're feeling in that body. So breathing in. Exhale. Tuck the chin down towards the chest, rolling down. And again, you're wanting to roll down without locking back into your knees, without really changing the weight through the soles of the feet. Breathe in. Where are you feeling that tension in your body today? And then exhale, drawing that navel to spine and rolling all the way up. On this next one, you're going to roll down, and we're just going to lengthen out the spine instead of it being rounded. So I'll go to the side so you can see the shape that I'm making in my spine here. So tuck the chin to the chest, breastbone sort of melts into the body, arms come round, draw that navel to spine, get that stretch in the lower back. And then sliding the sit bones up to the ceiling and rolling down into that roll down hold. Place the hands in the front of the shins and lengthen out. So you almost become that sort of tabletop in the spine. Shoulder blades sort of connecting down on the ribs, they're not up to the ears. And you'll probably feel that stretch a little bit down the back of the hamstrings there. And again, I'm still soft in the knees. I haven't started to lock back in the knees like that. I've got a slight softness in the knees. I'm reaching out through that breastbone. So I'm really sort of feeling that length up through the breastbone there. And I've got my chin slightly up. And then as soon as I pull that navel to spine, it starts to round me in that tailbone, and I get that tucking under, scooping all the way up and rolling up to your standing. Breathe in and exhale, breathe out. Just soften the shoulders, find that stretch. Great. Bring yourselves down onto your mat. Let's start to bring some awareness into sort of our shoulder blades and what's moving and what's not. So you're going to come into your 4-point. So you've got your hands underneath your shoulders, knees underneath the pelvis, and you're going to move through the sort of scapular bone, the shoulder blade. So if we're moving through just the shoulder blade, it would sort of suggest that I have to keep the rest of the body still in order to get that move in the shoulder blade. And sometimes when we haven't got a lot of movement there, what happens is the body will start to move in order for us to make us feel like we're moving more in the shoulder. But actually we're not. So it doesn't matter if the movement's small, I just really want you to be aware that it's the shoulder blade moving, not the body. So get that length in the crown of the head and that tailbone, holding there. And then just start to lift that left arm without bending in the elbow and feel the shoulder blades sort of glide and melt inwards towards the spine. And then just placing the hand back down, that shoulder blade sort of just melts back around the ribs again. So you should feel the shoulder blade sort of slide into the spine and then open back up again. So we'll do the same on the right. I'm going to lift the right arm. And it's very easy to bend in the elbow here and not make the movement about the shoulder. So really try and keep the arm long and pull the shoulder blade into the spine and then opening it back up around the ribs. So again, lifting, sliding the shoulder blade into the spine and then opening it back out. And again, slide the shoulder blade in and then opening it back out. So what's your movement like? Ask yourself that question. Is it moving, or does it feel really awkward? Does it feel like you really want to go and bend in that elbow straight away? Sometimes that's sort of a default movement that we've got that sort of defers the movement from the shoulder and just sort of, diffuses it and sort of makes it come from the elbow rather than the shoulder, because maybe the shoulder blade doesn't move very much. So if we try and really keep that elbow long and move through that shoulder. And really you shouldn't feel like you're rotating in the body too much. The body's staying really still so then you can move the shoulder around the body. Really good. Once you've done that last one on that right, take a stretch back. That's it. Just have a little move through those shoulders there a little bit, just sort of sliding intuitively sort of one way and the other. It's almost like you want to sort of pop the ribs out that way and then you want to pop the ribs out the other way. Right, on this next one, we're going to super glue the shoulder blades to our ribs now, and we're going to move through the body moving, okay? So you're going to go into a little bit of a rotation. So same idea as lifting up the left arm, but instead of me moving the shoulder blade, I keep the shoulder blade where it is and I just lift up that breastbone to shine to the left. And the more I push down on that right arm, can you see how I lifted up a little bit more there when I had that connection? And then lowering that arm back down. So lift up the right arm. Now to come up more, I'm going to rotate that body so the breastbone starts to shine to that right side and push through that left arm. And then bringing the arm back down. And that feels really nice. I can really feel that sort of spiraling in the spine. And again, your pelvis is staying still here. And you're really super gluing those shoulder blades onto the ribs there and getting that rotation in the body now. And what does that movement feel like each side? Like this side definitely feels like I can sort of open up a bit more, I feel, compared to the other side. And I'm coming all the way back. Brilliant. Take a lovely stretch back into your heels. And again, breathe in and out. So if you just started doing a lot of sort of 4-point stuff or just started your journey on Pilates, you can find the wrists start to hurt quite a lot because we're not used to loading onto them. So, just take a moment, give them a little turn around and then come back on. But the more and more sort of 4-point work you do, the stronger they'll get. I remember when I first started doing Pilates, that was one of the things I just couldn't be on my wrists for very long. But that's changed. Right, we're going to get your band and you're going to place the band around the back of the shoulders. So you want it nice and wide, so it's not all scrunched up, almost like a little shawl around the shoulders. And then you're going to bring your hands back down on the mat. So you've got that lovely sort of feedback now of that band around the shoulders. And we're going to do a little sort of shoulder press up here, okay? So you're just going to allow the breastbone to start to sink down. And when it does, the shoulder blades start to pinch together. But I'm not bending in the arms here. The arms are still staying long. The movement's coming from the spine, sinking down, which melts the shoulders in. And then as the breastbone sort of pumps back up into the shoulders, can you feel how those shoulders push into that band then? Not so you're overly rounding into this position here. It's just sort of finding a real sort of wideness, but in that neutral there. So you're not going past into that flexion. And then again, dropping the breastbone down. Almost like the shoulder blades like magnets being drawn to that spine. And then the breastbone pushes up. And you feel nice and strong and wide in those shoulders. And again, melt down and push up. And it's a small little move, you're not going to come too far. It's only where the shoulder blades can sort of pinch to really, and then coming back up. But I want you to feel those two different ranges. Feel that change in where the shoulders are. Brilliant, one more. That's it. And then once you've done that last one, just come sitting back and remove that band. Place the band to one side. So what I love about using equipment is once you've experienced that feeling, once I've felt that shawl around me and I've felt that connection in the shoulders there in the band, I've got that feeling in my mind now I can connect to whenever I want. So when I come back into my 4 point now without the band, I can still use that imagery and that feeling that I connected there to get me in and out of that movement again. So on this next move, you're going to tuck the toes under and we're going to challenge the strength in our arms a little bit more. We're going to do the same move, but we're going to add a little bit more load. So again, if this doesn't feel right, just stick to keeping the knees on the floor and you can still do the same movement. So if you're going to go into that slightly loaded move, you're going to elevate the knees into that hover, you're going to hold, you're going to sink the breastbone down and then push up into that imaginary band again. And again, sink the breastbone down and then lift. Brilliant. And again, sink and lift. And again, sink and lift. Can you do 4 more? Try and keep up in that body so you're not allowing that body to sink down. You've got 2 more. And last one, that lovely shoulder press up. Brilliant. And then lower the knees down, untuck the toes and stretch back. Really good. Breathing in and out and exhale. Slide the hands towards the knees, bringing yourself up. Really good. So that was a really nice start to you being aware of where your shoulders are and how much they're moving. Maybe they're moving a lot, maybe they're not. Whatever you've discovered, that's for you to be aware of. So let's just see if we can get a little bit of awareness of some muscles, rotator cuff muscle in the arm there, and then also a bit more movement in the shoulder before we go on to some bigger moves, okay? So let's come on to that right side. And again, you may want to pop a mat underneath your head there. Arm in front, elbow into that waist there. And you're going to just start to keep, what you want to do is keep the top of the arm and the elbow super glued into that waist. And you don't want to move through the body, so the body stays stacked as if it's against a wall. And you're just going to pull that band and feel that forearm pulling up, but without the elbow coming up. And then release. And pull up and release. So you're starting to feel and connect into the muscles here. So you should start to feel those rotator cuff muscles really having to work there. Maybe you might find that forearm hasn't got much range. Maybe there's not much movement there to bring that forearm up. And breathe. That's it. And again, breathe. 2 more. Brilliant, and then bringing that arm down. Stretch that arm long, both arms nice and long here. I'm going to take the arm up to the ceiling, and here I can feel like my shoulder blade melt into that spine. And then as I bring the arm down, the shoulder blade then again sort of opens up around the ribs. And again, pulling on that band, and then release. And inhale, and release. And you're not taking the arm behind the body, you're just bringing it up in alignment with that shoulder. Really good. And again. One more. Now with the band up here, now draw the arm down to the pelvis, feeling the shoulder connect down onto the ribs, and then bringing the arm up, the shoulder blade lifts, and then drawing that shoulder blade down. And see if you can connect sort of into the muscles a little bit at the base of the shoulder, sort of wrap around those sort of serratus anterior muscles and sort of knit them onto the rib cage, feeling that awareness of the rib cage sort of drawing in there as well. And again, coming up and then down and up and then down. You've got 4 more. So exhale Inhale up. Exhale. Inhale up. 2 more. Brilliant. There we go. And then bringing that arm down. Take a breath into that side for a moment, into the ribs there. And exhale. Let's do the other side. So bringing yourself up. So again, we're going to start on that rotator cuff muscle. So again, tucking that elbow into the waist there. And you just start that rotation of that forearm. So you've got that slight pull on the band. You can do it without the band. If the band feels too much for those muscles there, you can just try and find the movement. Maybe it's just you trying to get that movement, which is more important than having that extra bit of resistance with the band there. Again, just check that you're not moving that arm back. It's very easy to come into this position and sort of pull the arm back. Keep it on that side. Brilliant. 1 more. Right, arms long in front. Let's do that big opening. So open the arm, pulling it up to the ceiling. So to feel the shoulder blade sink down, and then widening that shoulder blade and up and bringing it down and up and down. That's it. 4 more. That's it. And then we're going to get that pull down to the pelvis. So arm up, pull down and release. Pull down and release. Really good. Just getting it moving and just being aware of how it's moving, how it feels when you're moving it. Got 3 more. And last one. Brilliant. And then just bring that arm down. Just take a couple of breaths into that side, into the ribs there. Feel them lift up and exhale out. Right, just push yourself up. Come up to your sitting position for a minute. Bring your legs cross-legged in front. And let's just do a little rotation here. So if you bring your left hand across to that right knee, and then bringing that right arm behind and rotate that whole body to look behind. Keep lifted up through the spine. Relax the shoulders down onto the ribs. And then release. And do the other side. So leg across and rotate. And then bringing yourself back. Do that again on each side. How much of the room can you see around you, behind you? And then back. And again. Keep the pelvis grounded and really spiral through the spine. And then back. So let's do one more move with that band. Let's get a bit of an opening in the sides of the body here. So you're going to bring the arms in front, holding the band. And you want to make sure you've got a bit of band in there to stretch with. You're going to rotate to the right. Bring the right hand down to the floor. And then stretch up. Look to where you're stretching. Try and relax this bottom arm so the shoulder isn't hitching up to the ear. Breathing in. And then releasing that stretch of that arm up. And then bringing that bottom arm and all the way back to center. Do the same on the other side. Rotate. Bring the arm down. And stretch. And then release. Arm back up and back to center. Let's do that again. I feel like we need another set each side. Rotate. You can really feel that spiraling from that navel there. Pulling that arm down and then reaching up. And then exhale. Last one to that left. Rotate. Keep grounded in the pelvis. Hand down, stretching up. and then release, and then back to that center. Bring the arms down, really good. Give those shoulders a little bit of a move. So they should be really warmed up now, those shoulders, definitely sort of aware of where they are on our body. Right, so let's use a bit of weights now just to build a bit more strength around in those arm muscles. So I'm just going to attach my weights around the wrist here. If you've got your weights that you're going to hold, or even some tins. I think I had a client, she didn't have any weights when we were doing some arm things, and I think she uses some door stoppers. So there's many things you can use. Right, so let's start off with being on our, I'm just going to actually tighten that a little bit, on our knees. That's it. And you want to get that sense of the tailbone being sort of long down to that floor, and then that zipping up through here so those hips are nice and open. And really we don't want to be moving around in this body, because we want the movement to come from the arms and sort of the shoulders. So keep that sort of pulling up. Imagine you're being, there's a piece of string drawing you up to that ceiling there and connecting you up to the ceiling. So let's start by bringing the arms out wide. So already that feels quite a nice stretch. I can feel sort of the muscles starting to wake up there, and we're just going to lift that left arm up and then bringing it back down, and then swap right arm up and then back down. This is when you think, oh, those weights start to feel quite heavy after a while. And breathe. And there's no rush, just take your time. And again, up and down. One more each side. Right, let's take both arms up and then wide, and up and wide. Really good. Stretch those ribs from that pelvis, draw that navel to spine. Another 3 more. One more. Straight into that next move. Keep going. Arms forwards and wide. Arms forwards and wide. So close and open. Got 3 more. Brilliant. Once you've got that last one and the arms in front, draw those elbows in. Oh, it's a little bit of a rest there for a second, and then extend again. And again, bring those elbows in and then reach long. So lots of movement going on in those shoulders here, as well as the arms. I've lost count, but let's do another 3. And then we're going to add another move onto this. So as the elbows come in, rotate those forearms. And then just reach out without fully extending in the elbows. Then drawing in, back to center and forwards. Really good. That's it. Again, keeping stable through your body. Another 4 more. That's it, and 2 more. Keep that lift, keep long in that spine, and last one. Brilliant, and then just drop those hands down. Feel the weights to really pull the hands down. You feel the shoulders connect at the shoulder blades connect down onto the ribs. Let's do a big circle here. So if I take the arms all the way up and then sweep around and then down and again. Let's go back the way we came. Sweep up and then back down and again up down, and then reverse, and then back up. 2 more like this. And really big mobility here. You can feel in the shoulder blades. They're getting a really lovely move around that rib cage. And then bringing the arms all the way down. Last move here, bringing those hands up to those shoulders. So it's doing almost like a little bicep curl. Reach up, pull down, and then extend. And again, up to the shoulders, extend, pull down, and then soften down again. Four more. Keep breathing, keep connected into how the body's feeling. 2 more. And last one. Brilliant. And then we're going to do another 2 moves. We're going to change our posture in our body here. So I'm going to go to the side so you can see here. Tuck your toes under. And you're going to start to sit back into your heels. And then as you do, you're going to stretch those arms. That's it. And then bringing the arms back down and push the hips forward. So take the arms behind so you get that stretch across the front of the chest. And again, inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. You've got 3 more. And again. Last one. We've got 1 more move. Keep the arms behind, sit back into the heels, reach the arms up so you're really stretching in the front there, and you're going to pulse up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 8, and take wide. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, brilliant, and then sitting all the way up. Sit back into those heels and move the weights. It's a lovely little one, that one, just sort of gets everything sort of working a little bit. So if you did that quite regularly, you'd start to feel a lot more strength and maybe definition around the arms and the shoulders. So let's, with all of that working around strengthening and opening up there, let's see if we can go take ourselves into a move where we can feel that stretch a little bit in the front there. So if you bring your feet forwards, and you can either have your hands looking towards your bottom, or if that feels uncomfortable in the wrists, you can have them sort of looking out to the side like that, so whatever feels okay. And we're going to lift up. So this is about sort of pulling that body through the chest here, and you don't want to pull the neck too far back. So the eye line still looking up to the ceiling and having a sense of sort of long in the spine and support there. So feet on the mat. When you're ready, start to lift that bottom. Slide the knees over the feet, push the hips up, and feel the chest push up through those arms. Sort of squeeze those glutes together as if you've got a 10-pound note between the bottom there. And then drop that pelvis back down. So do that another 2 more times. And again, lifting up. So here the arms are staying long and it's the body sort of coming up through the arms and then back down again. And 1 more, up. And then all the way back down. So let's just see if we can do a little tricep dip here. So you're not going to bring the body up as high here. You're going to lift up the bottom and hold here. Now keeping the body where it is, you're going to bend and extend those arms. If I bend in the elbows, that bottom comes lower down and then I push back up, but it's only coming back down because of my arms changing. So I'm bending in the elbows and then pushing up. And 3 and 4, 5. If this feels too much, just do a few. Don't have to do 8 and 7. And last one, 8. Brilliant. Lower that bottom down. Come off of those wrists and give them a good shake around. Really good. Well, great movement, guys. Shall we bring ourselves up to standing? Let's do a nice A-frame with a little bit of a rotation and then roll ourselves up. So if you bring yourself into your 4 point, That's it, and obviously we're feeling really strong in those arms now. So, just being in this 4 point, I feel really nice and open and strong in my upper body, which feels good. Long through the body, navel to spine. Tuck the toes under now. Elevate the knees, or hold for a moment with all that strength that you've built up in the session. Send the bottom up to the sky. Bring the body through the arms and get a sense of pushing the mat away, and you'll feel yourself pull to those legs a little bit more. Let's do a little reach here. So with my left hand, I'm going to take it across to that right ankle and look under that right armpit. That's it. I'm going to pull down that left heel, the one that I'm not holding on to. Brilliant. Right, now take that hand back. Let's do the same with that right arm, stretching across to that left ankle. And I'm looking into the left armpit, and I'm going to just push down through that right heel. Bringing the arm back, I'm back to center. Pull the body through the arms again. Drop the heels down. Breathe. And then start to walk back towards your feet slowly. Relax the head, relax the arms. Gather that navel to spine. Drop the tailbone down. And just rolling yourself all the way up. Hello, plant. Really good. Just holding here for a moment. Just take a couple of breaths, because sometimes when we've been quite restricted and tight up in the shoulders and the arms, it feels like we can just breathe more into that body. So enjoy it. Take a deep breath in, and on the exhale, just slow the exhale breath out. And breathe in. And slow the exhale breath out. Well done. See you again soon.